get started in business, especially the lawn service, you deal with a lot of crap. You just don't get in the lawn service and have the best customers in the world that pay on time, and you know, they pick up their toys, and you don't have that. At least I didn't. So, and then, you know, you have those customers where all they do is sit at home waiting on you to get there, and you know, they think they're overcharging you when they're not, and so they nitpick everything. I had a bi-weekly yard that we mowed, and I dreaded going there every 2 weeks. And the last year that I mowed it, I said, well, I counted down the days. You know, I think it's like 11 days we had left to mow this guy's yard, and I was like, I'm not going to take it on next year. I had a guy working for me, and, you know, and that yard helped pay for him. But you know, every time you'd be mowing, he smoked a cigar, and you could smell that cigar smoke. You knew that he was going to ask you to do something different. And his yard was a crappy yard anyway. I charged $50 and should have been probably charging $80, but he still thought he was getting, you know, shafted at the $50. So we used to mow a huge church, and the guys that I had working for me made more than I did being the owner, because I thought I'd be able to do it myself. I wasn't, and so I had to hire people, and they were making more than me, but I never felt comfortable there. I always felt like I was a hired help, and I didn't like that. And that I would show up to mow, and this is after a couple of years. It seems like every time we'd come in to mow, there'd be a certain vehicle pull in and then just go sit behind the church, or the guy would get out and walk around the church, you know, as if like we were there to not mow, like we were trying to break in the church or something, and that drove me insane. So again, with that, I just counted down the days until the end of the season that year, because I didn't want to drop them mid-season. Plus, I had guys working for me, and so that's what I did. I waited till the end of the season. I called them and I said, hey, you know, you need to find somebody else next year. And I mean, you know, it was pretty much like hired help. They just said okay, and that was it. Not thanks, it looked great, appreciate what you did for us. There was none of that. It was just okay and hang the phone up. So that's the kind of people you really don't want to do business with. But then, you know, when it comes to washing, I said all that says when it comes to washing, you're going to find properties you don't want to deal with. You know, it may be a steep bank that you don't want to walk up and down 40 times. There may be tons of landscaping that you don't want to deal with. You can say no. It may not be the best thing for you, but you got to realize that you can say no. We still mow a yard that all the other lawn companies around me said no to because they didn't want to do extra trimming. Well, I just charge for it. I mean, you can't do something if you don't want to do it. Charge accordingly. So that way, if you don't want to do it, and you're like, well, I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to give them a price anyway. Well, they may accept that price, and then there you are stuck doing it. So you better make sure that it's worth it when it comes financially, because I think we've all done or will do eventually jobs that we really don't want to do, or just be like, oh, this sucks so bad, I can't wait for it to be over with. So if you got that feeling, then you need to make sure when you cash that check that feeling goes away and you learn something from it, either to not have to do that again or not put yourself in that position again. We did a mulch job for a guy once, and I knew going into it he was going to ask for a bunch of extras. I knew that he wouldn't be satisfied with it, and I knew all the ins and outs of doing a simple mulch job that I talked to him about that he didn't want to do. But then when we went to do it, he was like, oh, well, what about this and what about that? And it ended up just not being a good deal altogether. I got mad, and I just didn't. But I knew, I think I was mad at myself because I knew exactly how it was going to go when I went there. I knew he was going to ask for extras. I knew he was going to want me to do something different. Always trying to get that last little penny, but you got to just be able to say no. That was a job that I had scheduled so my kids could help, so they could make some money, and you know, that worked out, you know, really well. Sometimes I schedule jobs jobs like that. I'll schedule jobs that I really don't want to do, but if my kids are really wanting to make money, then I'll say, okay, I can do that just so they can go help and make them some money. But anyway, just like I said, don't be afraid to say no. As a contractor, you can say no. No, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. I did a church a little while back, and I got up. I'm afraid of heights, scared of heights, acrophobia, and but I can get on ladders. Is when I'm on a job and I get on a ladder, I don't think about it. I just think about the job. Well, I got on a 40-foot lift. I didn't think about the height of it, and that wasn't enough. And I knew I really wasn't comfortable with 40 foot, but I'm going to have to go another 20 or 30 to finish this job. And I didn't want to call the guy and say, hey, I just can't do this, but I can't reach it, and I can't rent nothing around me to be able to reach it. Well, the guy that had done it previously for him used a tree company's bucket truck, and so that's what I was able to use. And so when I got up in the air, I didn't think about it, but I hated to say I can't do this, or hey, I give you this quote, but you're going to have to find somebody else because I can't do it. I don't like that as a person or a business owner. I don't like that. But we were able to get the truck rented, pay for it, and it ended up being a great deal. A lot of learning experience. Not saying I'm going to do church steeples every day, but it was a learning experience, and it was pretty nice. But I just wanted to hop on here. I'm going to a job this morning. We got a house wash and some concrete to do. And just wanted to hop on here and let you guys know you can say no. There's going to be crappy jobs come along that you don't want to do. We did one that was about a $1,500 job a few years ago out by a lake near us, and I literally sprayed the plants more than I did the house and the roof. It was a roof wash and a house wash, and we sprayed the plants more than we did the house because it was full of Japanese maples everywhere. I wasn't trying to kill nothing. They were right in the way of me spraying. I couldn't get away from not spraying them. And, you had to take that precaution. You had to realize you can't just go in there and spray it and hope for the best, because that was going to get you replacing a lot of expensive plants. Some people may have passed on that. Been like, no, heck no, I don't want to do that. That's horrible. I don't want to deal with the landscape. It could have been that way, but I was willing to do it. I didn't find it wasn't that big of an issue. You just had to take the precautions. So just wanted to hop on here and say that. If you go price jobs and you don't want to do them, just say no. And then if it's something that you can do, but you just really don't want to, make sure if you're going to go ahead and give them a bid, that it's good enough that when you cash that check, that it's like, okay, because we did a big job a little while back. It was a big learning experience. It was a tiring job. It took us 8 hours to do on a very hot day. And as much as it sucked, all I kept thinking is, man, this is like the biggest payday we've ever had. And so that was what kept me going through the day, is, man, this is going to be a good payday. Now, if it would have been a crappy payday and it was going to, not make the money that I thought I would have, or I wasn't making the money, that would have been a nightmare. But that wasn't the case. So if it's something you don't want to do, just make sure you charge it enough for it. So that's my time. I've got to go get to this house and pull some hoses out, and